The Chinese have announced that they're going to go to the moon. In fact, they will probably beat the United States.
The moon has fascinated people for ages, and recent discoveries have reshaped our view of it. Scientific findings suggest the moon holds rare resources and water, which can potentially change its significance. But what's the practical impact? Will we be visiting the moon more often? And what's in store for us? Dr. Michio Kaku, a prominent astrophysicist and futurist, shares insights into these developments. Let's explore the moon and what lies ahead. Human lunar exploration is making a comeback. It's been a while since anyone set foot on the moon. The last crewed mission was back in 1972. You might not even have been around when these historic Apollo missions took place, capturing the world's imagination in 1969. But now, we're witnessing China's commitment to landing on the moon. They've sent a robotic spacecraft to collect lunar rock samples, marking a significant shift in lunar exploration. Kaku commends China for this achievement, highlighting that they're now the third country, after the USA and the Soviet Union, to pull it off. However, he raises a concern about a potential new space race. During the Apollo era, the USA and the Soviet Union were in a fierce space race. Nowadays, more nations are venturing into space, raising concerns about potential tensions. Kaku emphasizes the risk, especially if it involves commercial and economic interests that might lead to conflicts. If China takes the lead on the moon and their discoveries provide an advantage, it sparks questions about moon ownership and large-scale resource extraction rights. Kaku regrets that we're considering military aspects in space exploration and views these changes with both concern and hope. These developments represent a complex interplay of global cooperation and competition. While the USA has been at the forefront of space exploration, Russia is re-emerging in the space domain. The United States also controls more than half of Earth's satellites, and entrepreneurs like Elon Musk are launching thousands of mini-satellites to create a comprehensive global communication network. Many nations have deployed satellites for communication, weather monitoring, and other purposes, yet the issue of ownership and rights in space remains unresolved. The growing amount of space debris is a growing concern, and newcomer nations may feel disadvantaged if space becomes crowded. The USA has established the United Space Force, a military unit dedicated to space defense. The future will determine if a military presence in space becomes necessary. So far, the return to the moon has been more like a friendly competition between private space companies. Elon Musk's SpaceX envisions lunar travel for tourism and manned missions, even planning a lunar hotel. Jeff Bezos, another visionary entrepreneur, sees the moon as a potential economic hub. He envisions moving heavy industry from Earth to the moon, potentially alleviating the strain on our planet. Bezos's vision might be realized sooner than expected, thanks to recent discoveries that raise the likelihood of lunar resource mining. Musk and Bezos, once ridiculed or underestimated, weren't initially seen as space game-changers or sources of global tensions. China's lunar missions could carry military implications, according to Kaku, especially if the USA or Russia fall behind. He's concerned about an unnecessary space arms race. Reports suggest the USA and Russia are testing hypersonic drones capable of space deployment. Could the discovery of water transform everything? China's Chang'e 5 lander conducted a remarkable mission in 2020, drilling into the moon's surface, collecting rock samples, and returning them to Earth. This achievement has ignited curiosity and anticipation among international scientists. Having lunar rock samples in our hands is unprecedented. Cutting-edge techniques like field emission scanning electron microscopy, electron probe microanalysis, and Raman spectroscopy revealed tiny glass beads in lunar soil containing a small amount of water. Chinese researchers estimate that the entire lunar soil may be permeated by these glass beads, potentially holding millions of liters of water. The outdated notion that the moon is dry and dull is history. Michio Kaku praised the study as a significant contribution to our growing knowledge of lunar water. He stressed the importance of this newfound understanding for future lunar exploration. Kaku also mentioned upcoming USA missions, like the Artemis project, which aims to establish a permanent lunar station. With water available, lunar missions become more viable, providing utility water, drinking water, water for plant growth, and even fuel. Beyond practical uses, this discovery expands our knowledge of water reservoirs on celestial bodies. 20 years ago, scientists considered it impossible to find water on planets or moons without an atmosphere, since water should evaporate or escape into space. However, the moon has defied expectations. Water's presence on the moon isn't entirely new. Orbiters and telescopes suspected ice in polar craters. NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services program plans to send a rover to search for water near the South Pole by late 2023. It's possible that NASA will expand its mission to return lunar soil samples to Earth. The SOFIA mission, partly credited with discovering lunar water molecules, involves NASA's Airborne Observatory SOFIA. This project, in collaboration with the ESA, regularly carried a large telescope aboard a Boeing 747 into Earth's stratosphere, freed from terrestrial radiation and atmospheric interference. The Flying Infrared Observatory examined various celestial bodies, including the Moon, and uncovered evidence of water ice at the poles. Development on SOFIA began in 1996, and it required some unique technical solutions. A special garage door had to be installed on the Boeing 747 SP jetliner to open in the stratosphere, allowing the telescope to have an unobstructed view of space. SOFIA's capabilities allowed it to unequivocally identify water molecules in the vicinity of the Clavius crater on the Moon's southern hemisphere. The Clavius crater, the second largest prominent lunar feature visible from Earth, spans an impressive 231 kilometers in width and plunges to a depth of 3.5 kilometers. It's a silent witness to the Moon's eventful history, and it likely conceals significant water deposits within its boundaries. Once again, we must reevaluate our perception of the Moon as a dry and uninteresting place. Now, let's shift our focus to the previously mentioned resource that might spark a lunar race. The newfound mineral, Chang8Y, could revolutionize the Earth's energy industry. This unique crystal belongs to the Broth subgroup and has a chemical association with phosphate marylite. What sets this crystal apart is its high helium-3 content, a rare element with immense potential for nuclear fusion, the type of energy source scientists have pursued for decades with moderate success. The primary challenge has been the scarcity of suitable fuel for generating more energy from fusion reactions than it takes to initiate them. While helium-3's enhanced fusion properties have long been recognized, its scarcity on Earth made it an impractical energy source. Helium-3 from the Moon now offers the possibility of transforming our energy needs through advanced nuclear fusion reactors. However, as explained by Michio Kaku, the visionary futurist, there's a caveat. To bring helium-3 from the Moon to Earth and establish the entire lunar mining operation, substantial investments are needed. It remains uncertain when or if using this resource would be economically viable. Nevertheless, Kaku sees helium-3 nuclear fusion as a safer, cleaner energy source that produces minimal radiation and no nuclear waste. He advocates for further research and views the discovery positively. The potential of helium-3 is enormous. Just 25 tons of this element could power the entire U.S. for a year. With an estimated value of about $3 billion per ton, the Moon has become a highly contested resource, triggering a global race involving private companies and space agencies from different countries. The long-term impact of these discoveries on the Moon remains uncertain. They could either harm or potentially benefit our planet's future. The implications of these lunar discoveries are substantial. On one hand, they hold the promise of revolutionizing energy production on Earth and could lead us towards a cleaner and more sustainable energy future. Helium-3, if harnessed effectively, offers a potent solution to the world's ever-growing energy needs with minimal environmental impact. This discovery could diminish our reliance on fossil fuels and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, which are contributing to climate change. Yet, on the other hand, these newfound resources have the potential to trigger fierce competition that may alter the future of lunar exploration. The moon may become the center stage for territorial disputes, mining operations, and an economic race among nations, space agencies, and private corporations. The geopolitical landscape could undergo significant shifts as countries vie for control over lunar resources and seek to establish their dominance in space exploration and utilization. There are also ethical and environmental concerns. The prospect of mining the moon raises questions about the potential environmental impact on this celestial body. Human activities, such as resource extraction, could disrupt the moon's delicate balance and affect its geological and cosmic properties. Additionally, the collaborative spirit that has characterized space exploration could be overshadowed by commercial and competitive interests. The emphasis on economic gains may take precedence over the collaborative pursuit of scientific knowledge, potentially hindering our understanding of the moon and the broader cosmos. Ultimately, the future of the moon's role in our scientific, economic, and environmental landscape is uncertain. These remarkable discoveries have opened doors to new possibilities, but they also bring a host of complex challenges and questions that humanity will grapple with as we continue to explore and utilize the lunar frontier. The way we navigate these issues will shape the future of lunar exploration and our relationship with the moon itself. Let us know what are your thoughts on this matter. We will be back to you with another amazing video. Until then, goodbye.